our desire is to serve with everything so that we can live with each other in peace. Bless this place, God. Bring.
Y'all is boycotting these people businesses and they feeling it. I'm talking about the lady was in there real life crying. Y'all is doing y'all big one.
And so today is a day of reckoning. A day of reckoning within the Asian American community. To recognize our complicity in upholding the institutions of white supremacy.
That's it. That's it.
Today, we have to interrogate our own anti-blackness that exists in our community. That we have to recognize our own privilege and anti-blackness that has existed for decades. That we have to understand that any progress that we have towards defeating Asian hate is inextricably tied to the progress of our black and brown brothers and sisters.
I've been saying this shit for years, but as Asian Americans, anti-blackness is fucking holding us back.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Imagine losing your entire customer base overnight because the very people who kept your businesses alive decided they have had enough. That's exactly what's happening right now, and it's forcing America to have a conversation many people have been avoiding for years. But here is my question for you. Is this boycott justified or has it gone too far? Let's get into the video real quick. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. I'll be back with my commentaries.
So, I've been seeing this online, I haven't mean to address it, and there's been certain Asian people on here, and I know that they do not represent the entire Asian community when I say this, so anyone in the Asian community that's been following what I'm saying, that supports what I'm saying, that supports rights and freedom, and just, good vibes for all, this ain't aimed at y'all, so hopefully y'all don't take offense to this. But for those in the Asian community that are going after the black community, y'all need to stop. Okay? Y'all need to stop showing out for crackers, because they are not y'all's friends. Last time I checked, crackers are the only people that have never dropped an atomic bomb on Japan. They're the only people that have dropped Agent Orange on Vietnam. They're the only people that did the My Lai massacre. And that's just off the top of my head. So, white people are not y'all's friends. They have never been. Crackers have never been y'all's friends. But the black community has had y'all's backs. Like, any rights y'all have is because of the rights that black America fought for. So, y'all need to really recalibrate who's on your side, who's had y'all's backs, and who's y'all's enemies. Because white people are not y'all's friends. They never have been. And unless something major changes with white culture, they're going to keep going, doing the same shit they've always been doing. And y'all going to be catching the brunt end of it just along with everyone else that isn't them. So, just let y'all know.
And so what if black people are boycotting Asian businesses? If that's what it takes to wake our community up, more power to them. And I really need Asians to wake the fuck up. Because I am tired of getting on this app every business week and having to talk about some fuck shit that some Asian person is doing to black people. There's so many other things I want to talk about on this app. Domestic violence prevention, mosquito brains, because that's what I got my PhD in. My writing process and how I write sci-fi novels and how I write, the small business that I run because I write those sci-fi novels. But instead, no, I always see some Asian doing some model minority stuff and then I feel a moral imperative to talk about it because it ends up in the death of innocent people like Cyrus Carmack Belton. I am sick of watching our country slide into fascism racism and watch the Asian vote be split because so many of us want to ally ourselves with our oppressors. And in my personal life, I'm tired of not being able to trust Asian people that I meet because so many of you would throw Asian people under the bus for white acceptance. And on top of that, a number of my friends are black people, and I don't want to have anybody in my life who is unsafe for my friends. Model minority Asians are unsafe for Asians to be around as well, and they are potentially lethal for black people. I don't want that in my community. Get that out. And if these Asian stores close, like the ones that opened up in black neighborhoods, and then complain about black people being there and do racist things to them and profile them, let the stores close. Y'all don't deserve to be there. Have some respect. I know Asian people love money, so black people withholding their dollars might actually get through some of your thick skulls.
You know why? Because I never shopped with them motherfuckers anyway. They were racist to me when I worked for Chase Bank. Asian people hated blacks. I've been discriminated against here in Norman. The little Asian lady lived next door to me. She was selling parking spots, parking people behind my house because we had a duplex. And she was getting paid for it because we lived by the OU Stadium. So people will pay to park in your yard if they can walk to the stadium from your yard. But she was getting paid for spots behind my apartment. So I went over and asked, I said, how are you parking people in my yard and getting paid and not giving me part of the money? Well, the next week, she blocked it off where they couldn't park behind my house. Anyway, she didn't want me to make no money, so there's that. I've been cursed out over the phone, talked crazy too by them because they knew I was black over the phone. So yeah, I'm not boycotting because I never liked Chinese food anyway. I never got my nails done anyway. My nails are natural. I don't deal with them. I don't buy fake hair because I got hair. So I ain't gonna boycott them, but I'm glad y'all are. Because that man should have been found guilty for killing that baby over that damn bottle of water. And I don't care what you say, they've been getting away with being racist toward us for a long time. And I feel like this, even during the pandemic, they were throwing people out over there in China. They were being racist during the pandemic too. So I hope they all go out of business. And even though I'm not boycotting, I'm on here to tell y'all go ahead and take that black dollar back. Let them see. I never did shop at Target either, so I never did have to boycott them. If you ain't never shopped with them or they ain't never got none of my money. So I'm happy for black people standing up for their rights. I love y'all.
Honestly, go ahead and boycott the Asian businesses. We as Asian businesses could stand to learn the value of the black dollar. And yes, South Asians, I said we. We spent all of last month talking about how we're Asian too. I understand that Rick Chow and his thug-ass son are East Asian, but y'all know damn well that could have been one of y'all's parents. This is exactly what some of us mean when we say y'all need to be raising y'all's parents. That immigrant mindset of come to America, keep your head down, don't bother anyone, they won't bother you. First of all, that's outdated. That's not gonna work. You have to educate yourself on what's going on. Second of all, our parents need to understand what happened in this country, the groundwork that was laid, the work that black Americans did to give us the rights that we have now. Third of all, you don't get to come here and say you just want to keep your head down and make an honest living and have the American dream and don't cause any waves, but at the same time, uphold anti-blackness and the disenfranchisement of black Americans. You can't have it both ways. And before any of you want to get in my comments with some slick ass shit to say, talking about fine, okay, if they don't want to shop at our establishments, go get your own dry cleaners, go get your own restaurants, go get your own convenience stores. You are proving the point that's being made, first of all. I'm gonna tell you two things that the black community have been trying to tell you. You just won't listen. One, black people don't forget. Black people do not forget. So if you already said some slick ass racist ass shit, you're fucked. I'm sorry, you've already lost them. And that serves you right. Number two, black people will treat you how you treat them. It is really that simple. And it makes perfect sense. In a country that has sought out to systemically oppress them from jump, I get that they're gonna be weary interacting with different people. They're gonna wanna understand what you think of them and how you want to treat them. Because why would they intentionally subject themselves to that kind of bullshit? But let me also tell you something. When they say social media is the loudest minority, that shit's so real. You can have every single black person on TikTok come on here and say, I am no longer supporting insert Asian business. And you know what? They could genuinely mean that and they will never set foot in your door. But most people are not on TikTok. You are still going to have black patrons coming to your establishments, giving you a chance, being open. This is your chance to prove you are exactly who you claim to be. Treat them with some respect, make them feel welcome and invited, and don't fucking antagonize them. Don't watch them, don't hover, Don't talk down to them when they're coming in ready to spend their own money at your establishment. Don't follow them around the store. And for fuck's sake, don't chase little children out of your store just to shoot them in the back in self-defense. Bitch, fuck you. And to Rick Chow and your thug-ass son?
Yo, this boycott might be the wake-up call that Asian people really needed. Hear me out. Everybody worried about how this boycott is going to hurt Asian businesses, but I'm more interested in what this boycott is going to make us become. Let's be real. Most of us are operating on formulas that were built 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago by our parents and grandparents. Shit not the same no more. The world changed since then. Technology changed, communication changed, man, everything changed. The only thing that ain't really changed is our systems. And here's another thing. Most other people look at Asians like we all the same, but that could be farthest from the truth. Because Asians as a whole is actually divided as fuck. Chinese, Vietnamese, Korean, Japanese, Cambodian, Thai, Filipino, those are all people from different countries. We completely different people. But in America, everybody looks at us like we're the same. So this boycott ain't just gonna affect one group of Asians, it's gonna affect Asians collectively in America. And history has shown, when pressure is applied to different groups of people at the same time, it has a way of making us realize that we got more in common than we actually thought. So could this boycott hurt many Asian businesses? You damn right. But could it also wake the Asian people up in a way that we never saw before? Absolutely. It can make us rethink how we operate and come up with new formulas instead of relying on old ones. It can make younger Asians start stepping up in a way that Asians ain't never stepped up before. Because one thing we Asians have always been good at is adapting. When times get hard, we adjust. When old opportunities disappear, we make new ones. When doors close, we build our own. So the question shouldn't be, what if the boycott hurts Asians? The question should be, what if this boycott wakes us the fuck up?
I don't want to be your enemy. I understand you guys are upset and you want to boycott Asian-run businesses. Totally fair. I do acknowledge that many Asian people could be racist. And I condemn all races, regardless their ethnicities. Racism should not be accepted or tolerated. But not all of us are racist. I don't think I'm racist. I mean, I try not to be. I don't think I'm racist. I'm just Asian. I don't think it's fair that we all are punished because of one guy. I mean, I don't know who the fuck is Rick Chow is. Why are we all punished because of this one guy? But don't call all Asian people our enemy.
All right, racists.
I am noticing white people join this conversation. And by conversation, I mean the conversation that my community and the black community are having right now in regards to what happened to Cyrus and how Cyrus was murdered by someone in my community. And I just want to say, I am happy that y'all are on the right side of history because great. But also, I am not willing to let y'all join this conversation and do what y'all did during the Stop Asian Hate thing. Because the truth of the matter is, what happened during Stop Asian Hate was that the majority of the people who were harming my community were white people. And y'all chose to scapegoat the black people. Y'all did. And created tension between my community and the black community. And now you're hopping on to this conversation, this issue, that your community created, by the way. Your community created this fucking system. And you have the nerve to come into this conversation and try to scapegoat Asian people, try to make it seem like it's all of us who harm. When the reality is, the majority of the people in your community are genocidal maniacs. The fuck out of this conversation.
Well, thanks for watching. See you next time.
I've been saying this shit for years, but as Asian Americans, anti-blackness is fucking holding us back. I remember 6 years ago, a then Yale student, Ali Huang, published an op-ed in which she explicitly called out our community's refusal to speak out against the systemic injustices that black Americans have been facing in this country for centuries. And this op-ed went viral in the WeChat parent groups. Not for a damn good reason though, because the responses overwhelmingly were along the lines of, oh, your parents sacrificed so much, how could you say this against your own people? Basically framing the author as a traitor against their own community for speaking out against a very valid problem. Now keep in mind, these people are professionals, PhDs, people who have been experts in their fields for decades, yet at the same time not being able to hold two truths at once and immediately getting defensive. You can speak out against the anti-Asian racism and violence that people have faced in our community for centuries, while also recognizing that the Asian American identity is built upon being settlers in this country, a country that's fundamentally built upon the theft of indigenous land and the exploitation of black and brown bodies and labors since its foundation. You can be part of a community, love it, and be proud of your heritage, while also being able to criticize its flaws and wanting it to change for the better. Because being a full member of a community is not blindly defending it. That's tribalism. Being part of a community is being able to recognize and speak out against its flaws so that it can become a better community built upon love. We spend so much fucking time debating Asian meetups or the definition of ABGs, but when it comes to the shit that actually matters in today's world, mass surveillance, police brutality, genocide, deportation that ultimately affects us as well, we are fucking nowhere to be seen. We have not shown up. Consistently, we have not shown up. And honestly, even we've made shit worse at times by continuing to peddle these stereotypes and continuing to buy into the model minority myth. We have so many people in this digital world with influence and with a platform, and yet we have no collective sense on how to effectively combat anti-blackness in our community. That's fucking absurd. Because the more we talk about, oh, it's us versus them, it's red versus blue, that's where the people in power want us to be. And they have us exactly where they fucking want us to be. Because the more we talk about this shit, the further we get from recognizing that it's actually top versus bottom, from actually building class consciousness, let alone class solidarity, which is what we desperately need right now. So anyways, holy shit, but we have to do better. We have not shown up.
Just a reminder to other Asians, when the black community says that they're going to boycott Asian businesses, that's not them being racist. They're literally just asking us to give them the respect that they rightfully deserve. There's a lot of anti-blackness in the Asian community, and I'm sick of seeing it. We're all sick of seeing it. And the black community knows that all Asians aren't racist. It's just that these Asian businesses need to be reminded that they literally profit off of the black community.
You cannot understand Asian American history without understanding black history. And the sooner you understand why, the sooner you'll stop being a fucking tool. So there's actually a name for this. It's called racial triangulation. And this starts with the stereotypes that white supremacy assigns. Black Americans get hit with racism, and Asian Americans get hit with xenophobia. Want more Asian people to understand that model minority is not a fucking compliment. When people talk about model minorities, it's usually from a place of like, oh, why can't you just like shut up and be like these nice, obedient Asian people? This model minority stuff is a way to like pit Asian people and black people against each other. It's often used in a way to gaslight into thinking that racism doesn't exist. It's fucking bullshit. Because the second it becomes useful to scapegoat you, it's gonna happen. Case in point, remember the China virus a couple of years ago? Now with this Rick Chow case, this is being framed as some kind of like Asian versus black issue. The harm is real. The anti-blackness in Asian communities is real. I am not excusing it, but I think we also need to ask who's benefiting from this dynamic? Who is benefiting when our communities are beefing with each other? The more I dig into this, the more I'm starting to see that it's not random, it's systemic. And I'm gonna speak directly to my fellow Asian Americans. If you believe that, oh, maybe if I just obey the status quo and be a good boy, I'll be accepted. No, stop being a fucking tool. Conditional acceptance is not acceptance, it's control.
We need to stop anti-blackness in the Asian community. Yes, I totally agree. But it's harder said than done. Me trying to tell my community stop anti-blackness is like me telling Cyrus's mom, hey, I know an Asian person killed your son, but get over it. After reading a lot of these comments, I've realized that some people just don't understand why there's anti-blackness. They think it comes from white supremacy, they think it comes from systemic racism. Yes, I'm sure it has a part. But Asians are very logical people. They don't just do things for no reason. And unfortunately, they have experienced a lot of things which spurred them to have these type of action. Why do you think they say hurry and buy? Why do you think they look at you as if you're going to steal something? It's probably because they've been stolen from many times. Basically, they've been robbed many times. It's very traumatic. Now, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's right to generalize a whole people group just because a small percentage of people wanted to rob your store. But if you're someone that is just trying to make a living, you just want to protect your business. I'm saying I understand where these feelings come from. Now, will this ever change? Probably not. There's always going to be somebody that steals. What can help? I think mutual understanding helps. I think a lot of Asian people just want to be understood. I know black people want to be understood. So we can come to the table and create some dialogue. And if you don't like how you're being treated, don't go back there. That's fine. That I totally understand. I'm not saying go back to a business that disrespects you. I don't think Cyrus's mom will ever forgive Asian people. Is it right? I don't think so. But I understand. I understand her feelings. And she has every right to feel however she wants to feel. But don't go tell Asian people stop Asian blackness thinking it's just so easy to do when you don't know what they've gone through in their lives.
Welcome back, guys. What's happening right now should make every single person stop and pay attention. A growing economy boycott is spreading through black communities, and the impact is being felt by businesses that have depended on black customers for decades. But the story isn't just about money, it's about respect, it's about accountability, and is about a 14-year-old black child whose life was taken over a suspicion that wasn't even true. According to reports, a young black teenager was chased and shot after being forcefully accused of stealing bottles of water. The tragedy sparked outrage, grief, and a question that many black Americans have been asking for generations. Why are black people so often treated as threats even when they are simply customers, students, neighbors, or children? For years, many residents in predominantly black neighborhoods has complained about being followed in stores, watched suspiciously, spoken to disrespectfully, and treated like criminals while spending their hard-earned money. Now, many are responding in the most powerful ways possible. They are closing their wallets, and suddenly people are paying attention. Because whether some want to admit it or not, the black dollar has enormous economic influence. When community collective decide where their money goes, businesses feel it immediately. What's especially interesting is that many younger Asian Americans are speaking up and calling for accountability within their own communities. They are challenging the ideas that silence is acceptable. They are questioning why anti-black stereotypes continue to exist, and they are rejecting the belief that minorities should compete against each other instead of standing together. That's an important conversation because racism doesn't only come from one group. Anti-blackness can exist in any community. And if we are serious about justice, we have to be willing to confront it wherever it appears. Many activists argue that American racial hierarchy has always benefited from keeping marginalized groups divided. If black communities and Asian communities are fighting each other, then nobody is questioning the large system that created equality in the first place. That's why solidarity matters, not performative solidarities, not social media hashtag, real solidarities, the kind that requires difficult conversation, the kind that requires accountability, the kind that requires people to admit when harmful attitude exists inside their community. And let's be clear, demanding respect is not discrimination, demanding accountability is not hatred. Refusing to spend your money where you are treated poorly is not extremism, is customer choice, is economy protest. And throughout history, economic pressure has often been one of the most effective tools for social change. Whether you agree with the boycott or not, one thing is undeniable: people are talking, communities are reflecting, and conversations that were ignored for years are now impossible to avoid. The real question is, what happens next? Will this moment create deeper understanding? Will communities come together to address anti-blackness and discrimination? Or will everyone return to businesses as usual once the headline disappear? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Can economy create real change, or is something bigger needed to address this long-standing tension? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation respectful and constructive. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss future discussion on the stories and issues shaping our community. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.